Hello everyone. Since we're all bored as shit in quarantine, I decided that I'd make a video talking about some of the elite third basemen in the league. I will be focusing on 4 players, those being Nolan Arenado, Alex Bregman, Matt Chapman and Anthony Rendon. I will be giving basic player overviews and then comparing the 4. Now without further ado, let's get started. First we will be looking at Rockies third baseman Nolan Arenado, who has proven over the last 5 years that he is amazing offensively and defensively. Let's look at his offense first. Over the previous 5 seasons, Arenado has posted a 127 WRC+, which ranks 5th among third basemen with 2,500 plate appearances over that time period, and a .387 WOBA, which ranks 2nd among third basemen with the same qualifications. However, his .349x WOBA suggests that he overperformed greatly. I believe that this is due to the fact that Arenado plays in Colorado, and some analytics make Rockies look worse. Arenado's defense has been marvelous over the past 5 seasons as well. He has posted a 75 DRS, a 30.2 UZR and a 27 OAA over the previous 3 seasons. Arenado is also one of the few cases in accolades reflecting talent, as he has won the Gold Glove each of the past 5 seasons. His all-around game is superb and that is reflected by his 31.4 B-WAR over that span. His B-WAR per 150 games over that span equals out to 6 WAR per 150. Now let's look at the previous 2 seasons so that we can get a better idea of what we're dealing with. Over the past 2 seasons, Arenado has posted similar numbers, with a 130 WRC plus .391 WOBA, a .348x WOBA, 25 DRS, 16.1 UZR, 25 OAA, a 12.6 B-WAR and a 6.1 B-WAR per 150. So what we are able to gather from this is that Nolan Arenado is a great player both offensively and defensively, and it shows in the stat. Now let's take a look at Alex Bregman. The Astros cheating scandal should not distract us from his great play on both sides of the ball. His 162 WRC plus ranks 1st among third basemen over the past 2 seasons with a minimum of 1,000 plate appearances. His 407 WOBA ranks 1st among third basemen with the same qualifications. His x-WOBA suggests that he overperformed. His 374x WOBA is 33 points lower than his 407 WOBA. However, or 374x WOBA is still great nonetheless, as he is in the 90th percentile. There is also no evidence that the Astros cheated after 2017, so you can't really take anything away from Alex Bregman in this situation. Now let's take a look at Bregman's defense. Over the past 2 seasons, Bregman has posted 9 DRS, a -0.7 UZR and an 8 OAA. Bregman is obviously nothing special defensively, however he has still proven himself to be a good defender. And obviously amazing offense and good defense equals to a great all-around game. His B-WAR in 2019 was 9.1, which was the best among third basemen, and his B-WAR per 150 was 8.8, and over the previous 2 seasons, his B-WAR is 16.4, and per 150 games it equals out to 7.9. Now let's recap everything. Bregman the past 2 seasons has posted a 162 WRC+, 407 WOBA, 374x WOBA, 9 DRS, -0.7 UZR, 8 OAA, 16.4 B-WAR and a 7.9 B-WAR per 150. Bregman is phenomenal offensively, and is an above-average defender as well, which is what makes him one of the best third basemen in the league. Over the past 2 seasons, Matt Chapman has proven himself to be great both offensively and defensively. However, there is this narrative that Matt Chapman is not a good hitter. Some people have even gone as far as to say that Matt Chapman produces backup infield numbers.
Do not attach any association of this to me whatsoever. I have nothing to do with such idiocy, such blasphemy, such ridiculous nonsense.
In fact, over the past 2 seasons, his 131 WRC plus is tied for 4th among third basemen with a minimum of 1,000 plate appearances. His 361 WOBA ranks 7th. He has also posted a 350x WOBA over the past 2 seasons, showing that his results are sustainable. So no, he does not put up backup infielder numbers. In fact, he puts up some of the best offensive numbers among infielders. But that's just his offense. Now let's take a look at his defense. Over the past 2 seasons, Chapman has posted a 64 DRS, 25.7 UZR and a 22 OAA. And all of this reflects his amazing overall game, as he has posted a 16.6 B WAR over the past 2 seasons, equaling an 8.3 B WAR per 150. Now let's recap everything we just went over. Over the past 2 seasons, Chapman has posted a 131 WRC plus, 361 WOBA, 350x WOBA, proving he is a great offensive player, 64 DRS, 25.7 UZR, 22 OAA, proving to be an all-time great defensive player, a 16.6 B WAR and an 8.3 B WAR per 150 games. So in short, Chapman is a great offensive player, an all-time great defensive talent, and in my opinion he is underrated by many. Anthony Rendon has been considered by many to be underrated for quite some time now, as he is one of the best hitters in the entire league, let alone among third basemen. And the stats back it up, as over the past 2 seasons, he has posted a 147 WRC plus, or 398 WOBA and a 404x WOBA, which also means that these are not fluke results and are sustainable. However, Rendon's defense in recent years has been questionable. Over the past 2 seasons he has posted 1 DRS, 7.9 UZR and 6 OAA. Depending on what metrics you prefer, he's either an average defender or an above-average defender. His good all-around play is reflected by his 11.2 B WAR and 5.9 B WAR per 150 over the past 2 seasons as well. We need to also keep in mind that his offense carries the load, as B WAR uses DRS in its calculation, which does not view Rendon as good of a defender as UZR or OAA. Now let's recap all that we just discussed. Over the past 2 seasons, Rendon has posted a 147 WRC plus, 398 WOBA, 404x WOBA, 1 DRS, 7.9 UZR, 6 OAA, 11.2 B WAR and 5.9 B WAR per 150. Anthony Rendon is an amazing offensive talent, and depending on your preferred metrics you can argue his defense is anywhere from average to above average. And because of that it can be difficult to determine how good his all-around game really is. Now let's get into some comparisons. For this portion of the video I will be showing who had the best numbers in each aspect of the game, as well as who I believe is the best in certain aspects. First let's compare the offense of the 4. Here are the WRC plus, WOBA and x-WOBA of all 4 players. Reminder that these numbers are all taken from the previous 2 seasons. As we can see, Bregman leads in WRC plus and WOBA, and Rendon leads in x-WOBA. The numbers of those 2 are significantly better than Chapman and Arenado, that I think we can eliminate those 2 from the conversation. First, I want to compare Arenado and Chapman, as I feel like both have become somewhat underrated offensively. Let's look at their numbers again. Very similar numbers, except for Arenado having a significantly higher WOBA, but that also has to do with the fact that WOBA is not park adjusted. But none of these numbers take into account the course hangover that Arenado has to endure, due to the constant change of the altitude. And that takes a much more dramatic toll on a hitter than I have seen anybody acknowledge. So since their numbers are so similar, and Arenado has to endure the course hangover, I say that Arenado is definitely a better hitter than Chapman. However, people who think batting average is a good way to evaluate a hitter need to stop denouncing Chapman's offensive ability, as he has tremendous power, plate discipline, which makes him so valuable offensively. However, people who think batting average is a good way to evaluate a hitter need to stop denouncing Chapman's offensive ability, as he has tremendous power, plate discipline, which makes him so valuable offensively. So Arenado is definitely the better hitter. However, the gap is not as close as it may seem from any numbers. Now let's look at Bregman and Rendon as to who the best hitter is. First let's look at the numbers once again. As we can see, Bregman has a decently higher WRC+, a higher WOBA, although the difference is not that significant, and Rendon has a significantly higher xWOBA. I think that this case comes down to how much value you put on xWOBA. It is a good indicator of what someone's results should have been, and if those results are sustainable. If you put enough value in xWOBA, Rendon is the superior hitter. If you put more value into results, then Bregman is the better hitter. I would say that Bregman is the better hitter, due to his significant lead in WRC+ and his lead in WOBA. However, the gap is very minuscule. Despite Rendon's significantly higher xWOBA, I feel that the results of Bregman are too good to ignore. Now let's look at their defense. Here are all the numbers. As we can see, Chapman kills everyone here in DRS, UZR, and is barely behind Arenado in OAA. I think Matt Chapman is the best defender here by a landslide. I also don't put much value on UZR when evaluating an infielder's defense. Personally, I think that DRS is the best metric when measuring an infielder's defense. I think the order is Chapman, Arenado, Bregman and Rendon in terms of defense. I don't think much thought needs to be put into this. Now for this final section of the video, I will be giving my rankings for the 4 players as well as giving my reasoning behind it. At 4 I have Anthony Rendon. His offense is undoubtedly top 2 among the 4, although his defense brings him down. I don't see him as that good of a defender due to his 1 DRS. He also has the lowest B-WAR and the lowest B-WAR per 150. I think that him not being that great on defense brings down his value. If he was as good defensively as he was in 2016 or 2017, you could make a very strong case that he would be the best third baseman in the entire league. But since Rendon, in my opinion, is an average defender, I can't put him any higher than 4. At 3 I have Alex Bregman. Although Bregman is the best hitter here in my opinion, he did overperform his WOBA quite significantly. He is a good defender, but he does not provide the same value that the other 2 players provide defensively. Although, he is second in B-WAR and B-WAR per 150 by a significant margin, I do think that there are other factors that play into him having as big of a lead as he does. At number 2 I have Nolan Arenado. Arenado is a difficult player to evaluate, because there is no way to quantify the cause hangover, although I still feel it needs to be taken into account. He is significantly better defensively than Bregman and Rendon. Although both are better offensively, I still feel that Arenado's offense is better than his WRC+ and xWOBA make it seem. When you mix that with his significantly better defense, I think that it makes him better than both Bregman and Rendon. And at number 1 I have Matt Chapman. Chapman is the best defender on this list and it's not even remotely close. Chapman is also a great hitter, and that aspect of his game gets overlooked. And when you mix that with his defense, which is on an all-time level, his value is too high. His defense obviously carries his value, but he still has great offense. The gap between his defense to everyone else's is much bigger than the gap in his offense compared to the field. And that will wrap up part 1 of this video. In part 2, I will be talking more about the rest of the great third basemen in the league that make it probably the most stacked position in the league. If you enjoyed, like, share, subscribe, or don't, whatever. Also feel free to add to the discussion in the comments.